They say the forest repeats sounds, but what they don't tell you is that sometimes it answers back, and when it does, it never sounds quite right. My name is Sam. I grew up in a town so small that the woods weren't something you visited, they were something you lived beside. Every single house backed into trees. Every road, if you drove far enough, eventually narrowed into a dirt path swallowed by the forest. People didn't fear the woods. They respected it, especially after dark. There was an unspoken rule, a kind of primal understanding that once the sun went down, the forest belonged to itself. But respect doesn't mean curiosity disappears. And that's exactly how this whole nightmare started. It was late October, when the air gets that sharp, cold bite and the leaves crunch under your feet like broken glass. My friend Mark convinced me to hike the old logging trail just beyond the creek. The sun was already sinking fast, bleeding a sickly orange through the tangled branches. Mark just laughed when he saw me hesitate. "Relax," he said, his breath fogging in the chilly air. "We've walked this trail 100 times." That was true. We had, but never at night. And never this far in. The forest felt different. As the light faded, it was listening. Every step we took seemed louder than it should have been, like the damp earth was memorizing the sound of our boots, committing our presence to its memory. Then we heard it. A voice. My voice. Sam. It came from somewhere deeper in the woods. Off to our right. Mark froze mid-step, his head snapping in that direction. I felt my stomach clench and drop. "I didn't say anything," I whispered, my own voice barely a breath. Before Mark could even answer, the voice came again, clearer this time. Closer. "Sam, come here." It was perfect. The same tone, the same pacing, the same everything, except for one small, terrifying detail. I don't speak that calmly, especially not when I'm spooked, and I definitely don't speak without breathing. There was no pause, no intake of air. It was just a sound, perfectly formed, hanging in the dead air between the trees. Mark started backing away slowly, his eyes wide in the gloom. "That's not you," he said, his voice a strained whisper. "That's not human." In that instant, the forest went completely silent. No wind rustling the leaves. No insects buzzing. Even the last few leaves clinging to the branches seemed frozen mid-fall. It was a heavy, suffocating silence. Then, another voice spoke. This time, it was Mark's. "Hey, wait up." It came from directly behind us, on the trail we had just walked. We didn't need to look. We just ran. Branches clawed at our jackets, snagging and tearing as we bolted down the trail. But the footsteps behind us stayed perfectly in sync with our own. There was no heavy breathing, no stumbling on roots, no sound of panic, just copying, matching our frantic pace, learning our sounds. We didn't stop running until the trees finally thinned in the welcome. Hazy glow of the town lights appeared through the trunks. The moment we broke through the tree line, the footsteps stopped. Instantly. 2. Instantly, like a switch had been flipped, as if they were never really there at all. We stood there, gasping for air, our lungs burning, and stared back into the silent, black wall of trees. That night, neither of us slept. Every creak of the house, every rustle of leaves outside my window sent a jolt of pure fear through me. At around 3:12 a.m., my phone buzzed on the nightstand. A voicemail. Showed it was from my own number. I didn't play it until the sun was up, streaming through my window and making me feel foolishly brave. I wish I hadn't. It was my voice, a low, distorted whisper. "Sam, you left something in the woods," with a very distorted, creepy laugh, and then it hung up. 2 weeks later, Mark's family moved away. He never said why, and I never asked. People in town sometimes ask why I never go into the forest anymore, why I avoid even the well-trodden paths I grew up on. I just tell them I don't need to, because sometimes, when the house is quiet and the night is still, I hear it, my own voice calling my name, drifting from the trees at the edge of my yard. And it's getting closer. So if you ever hear your voice where you didn't leave it, don't answer. And don't follow, because the forest doesn't just echo, it remembers. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment or follow for more folklore and legends.